students, and now I am going to discuss about the chapter Sources of Food. It's the first chapter of class 6. Please follow my notes. I will explain it. Okay. Now, at first we discuss why food is necessary or why do we need food. Okay. Number one is that food gives us energy. As we all know that food gives us energy, and otherwise we are not able to perform different kinds of works. For energy purpose, food is necessary. Next one is it helps in growth and development. Yes, food is necessary for proper growth and development. In food there are different kinds of minerals, vitamins, carbohydrate, protein, which actually helps in the growth of our body. In childhood days, if a child is not given proper food, his growth or proper development of body does not occur. Another number 3 is food also helps to maintain our body and for repair also when our body become affected. For proper maintenance and repair, food is necessary. Number 4, it also helps to fight against different kinds of disease. As I already said, that food contains different kinds of vitamins, minerals, which helps to overcome these diseases and maintain our body properly. And last one is it also helps to regulate all our body functions. All our body functions, especially our movement, our locomotion, respiration, all are controlled or regulated in the presence of food. So we need food, and food is necessary for these purposes. Now we have to discuss about variety of food. In the class there are so many students and they belongs to different cultures, different regions also, so their food habit is not same. Some prefer plant products, some prefer meat, fish. So we already know the term about vegetarians and non-vegetarians. Once again I repeat, vegetarians mean those who eat only the plant products. They are called vegetarians. And non-vegetarians means those who eat plant products as well as animal products such as meat, fish, eggs, etc. are called non-vegetarians. India is a vast country. In the different regions there are different peoples of different religions present here, and their food habits are not similar. Okay, suppose South Indian foods are slightly different from North Indian foods, whereas Bengali food, Punjabi food, Gujarati food, Rajasthani food are also not similar. Some prefer non-vegetarian, some prefer meat, fish, whereas somewhere only vegetables are used. So now we have to learn about ingredients. This term is often very commonly used or commonly known term, ingredients. Now what is ingredients? Actually ingredients means when we prepare a particular food, so many materials are added together and the materials which are used to prepare this particular food is known as ingredients. I explain it through a very simple example. Suppose when we cook rice, the main ingredients are rice, water and a little bit of salt. So in cooked rice the main ingredients are rice, water and salt. Suppose when we make a cup of tea, milk, dry tea leaves, water and sugar is required. Sugars are required. So these are the ingredients for making tea. So ingredients means when food is prepared, some materials are needed. These materials are known as ingredients. Okay. Now there is commonly known term raw food or cooked food. Raw food means some food is eaten raw. For example, different kinds of fruits, mango, pears, grapes, this type of banana. When we eat this food, we don't need to cook it. We can eat it rawly. But some vegetables are not eat rawly. Besides vegetables, fishes, meats, etc., eggs also are eaten after proper cooking or after proper boiling. So these are called cooked foods. Raw food means the food which is eaten rawly. They are called raw food. For example, different kinds of vegetables and mainly the fruits. And cooked foods means when vegetables, meats, eggs are eaten after proper cooking or boiling, they are called cooked foods. Okay. Now, types of living organisms on the basis of their food habit. Actually, all the living organisms mainly classified into two types. One is the autotrophs and second one is the heterotrophs. Auto means self. Autotrophs means the organisms that make their own food. It means that they are not dependent on any other for the food. Actually, plants are autotrophs because they can make their own food, and for this reason they are also known as producer. Actually, the process in which they prepare their own food is called photosynthesis, and for this process they requires sunlight, carbon dioxide gas from the air, water and chlorophyll. And they not only prepare food for themselves only, they prepare food for the others also. So once again I repeat, autotrophs means the living organisms, those who are able to make their own food, and for these reasons they are also known as producers. Actually, plants are autotrophs and they are known as producers, and they can make the food in the process which is known as photosynthesis. And in this process, carbon dioxide gas, chlorophyll, water and sunlight is necessary. Now there is a question is that what is chlorophyll? Actually, chlorophyll is a green pigment which is present on the leaves of plants, and for this plants leaves are green in color. So chlorophyll is a pigment which is present in the leaves of the plant, and the photosynthesis process occurs in the leaves, and for this reason leaves are called kitchen of the plant. Now heterotrophs. Okay, heterotrophs means the living organisms that depend on autotrophs for food directly or indirectly. It means that heterotrophs are not able or unable to make their own food. For food, they have to depend on autotrophs or green plants, and for this reason they are known as consumers. Their green plants or autotrophs are known as producers, and here heterotrophs are known as consumers. But there is a term directly or indirectly. Yes, some heterotrophs are directly dependent on plants for food and some are indirectly dependent, and on the basis of this dependency they are classified into further three types: herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. Yes, number one is the herbivores. If we split the word, there are two different words, herb and vores. Actually, vores comes from the word voras, which means to eat, and herb means plant. Okay, so herbivores means the animals or the living organisms that directly eat plants. For example, different kinds of domestic animals such as cow, horse, goat, buffalo, etc. Next one is the carnivores. So carnivores, carni means flesh, and again voras means to eat. So carnivores means the animals, those who eat flesh of other animals are called carnivorous animals. For example, different kind of wild animals, eagle, snake, lion, tiger, they are the example of carnivores. So it is clear that herbivores or the domestic animals are directly dependent on plant for their food, as they directly eat plants, leaves, grass, etc. Whereas carnivores eat flesh of the domestic animals, and these domestic animals are dependent on plants. So that means that carnivores are not directly dependent on plants for food, but they're indirectly dependent on food. Clear? Once again I summarize, herbivores means the domestic animals, those directly eat plants. It means that for food they are directly dependent on plants, whereas carnivores eat the flesh of the domestic animals, and these domestic animals are dependent on plants. So we can say it, carnivores are also dependent on plants but not directly, indirectly. And the number third is the omnivores. Omni means all and vorous means once again to eat. So the organisms eat both animals and plants are called omnivorous, such as we the human beings, we eat both animals and plants. Bears, crows, they are also the another example of heterotrophs, omnivores. So complete. Now an important term is food chain. The definition of food chain is that a chain of organisms which shows who eats whom. That means I explain it through a simple example. We all know that green plants or grasses, they are eaten by goat. Goat is for the goat or other domestic animals. Goat or other domestic animals are further eaten by lion. So green plants are the food materials of goat. Goat is taken as food by lion. So green plants, goat, lion, according to their food habit, they are connected in a chain-like pattern or a linear pattern. So this is called food chain. Whereas man eat both green plants, goat or other domestic animals. So man is omnivore. Once again I repeat, food chain means a linear pattern or linear pattern or a chain in which, according to the food habit, different animals or different living organisms are interconnected. Okay, food chain, actually the chain of organisms which shows who eats whom. So students, at last I summarize by giving some questions. Okay, so first question is that why do we need food? So you have to write these 5 points that to help to get energy for growth development, for repair and maintenance of the body, to fight against disease, and also for regulate body functions, food is necessary. The second question is that the difference between vegetarians and non-vegetarians. So you have to write it. The third question is that about what is ingredients. So ingredients means the materials which are used to prepare a food item is called ingredients, and you have to explain it through example. Next, what do we mean by raw food and cooked food? You have to explain it with an example. Then there is a question is that write the different types of living organisms according to their food habit. So living organisms are mainly classified into 2 types, autotrophs, heterotrophs. Heterotrophs are further classified into herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. Now what do you mean by autotrophs or producers? Living organisms, those who are able to make their own food, are called autotrophs. They make their plants are autotrophs, they make their own food, and for these reasons they are known as producers. Second question is that what is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis means a process by which green plants make their food in the presence of sunlight. The help of carbon dioxide gas, water and chlorophyll is known as photosynthesis. Next question is that what are heterotrophs or define heterotrophs or consumers? Living organisms that depend on autotrophs directly or indirectly for food are known as heterotrophs. Now you have to define herbivores, carnivores and omnivores with suitable example. And the last question is that what is food chain? Food chain means a chain of organisms which shows who eats whom. You have to explain it with this simple example. And at the last of the chapter, I have also given a diagram of food chain. Okay, and given also some keynotes. You have to learn it properly, and also giving 2 activity based work. You have to complete it. It is very easy. On the next class, I will continue the rest part of the chapter. Okay, thank you.